Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is one of the most hyped games of next year. Obviously, the sequel to Final Fantasy VII Remake, the big mega project that Square Enix is taking on to remake the entirety of Final Fantasy VII. It's so fucking big, they're having to make 3 games just to cover it all. And we are now on the second entry in this, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And who am I? Who boy? I gotta talk about it. This week was Tokyo Game Show, TGS, the biggest show for Japanese developers. And this year, their main focus, I think like 99% of it, was Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, since that's coming up so soon. And we got information. Oh boy, did we get information. They did lots of interviews with Nomura, the director of the game. We got some really cool gameplay demos, 2 that were playable on the floor and 1 that was in a stage presentation. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. I've been waiting to kind of make this video for the dust to settle, for all the information to kind of get out there. There'll probably still be some more stuff after this video comes out. I think most of the major stuff is out there by now. So I want to make a video about it, discussing it, sharing my thoughts, talking about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Also, just a fair warning, this video is going to be just me gushing, essentially, going over the information, but me gushing over it too. Be warned, people. First off, we had the trailer that released with the State of Play last week. Everyone's been talking about it. I did a reaction to it. Obviously, I did. From the looks of the trailer, it's going to be covering the middle section of the game, starting off at Nibelheim, and they said that the game is going to be ending at the Forgotten Capital, and some certain events are going to be happening during that section. You all know what it is, and they've been kind of vague about that. This game looks so good just from that trailer alone. There's so many new features that they're adding for this time around. They're adding a bunch of new mini games, like chocobo racing's in there. You can fly chocobo now. Kate Sith joins the party. Vincent is here. Vincent is here, guys. Vincent is here. Did you notice that Vincent Valentine has entered the building? But you don't get to play as him though. Shit. Stuff from the original game, like the marching mini game, and some certain cutscenes, and certain bosses. Those bosses look so insane, dude. Also, those summons look fucking incredible too. They see me rolling my Segway. That's just the trailer. That's just the trailer we got. After that, around the time that TGS started, it was revealed that some content creators were flown out to the Square Enix offices to play a demo that was also playable at TGS. Side note, I think it's really cool that Square Enix is letting like these content creators and stuff like that play their games early and show it off to the fans, because that's the really great way to get to the hardcore fans specifically, and even smaller creators too. I saw someone with 7K subs got flown out to play it, and that's so fucking cool. Showed off their gameplay of the demo and their videos and their impressions of it and stuff like that. And I've been watching a few of them from people like Maximilian Dude, Sarah's Key, Aru. There's 2 sections of the demo. First part is during the flashback with Cloud and Sephiroth and Tifa. It seems like that might be the tutorial of the game. I've not heard confirmed reports that that's like the intro of the game, but it seems like a tutorial part of the game. So you get to play as both Cloud and Sephiroth. Sephiroth is obviously a badass with his Masasume and all that stuff. Cloud and Sephiroth have this synergy ability called Double Helix. That's something that they really showed off in the trailer there. And oh my goodness, that looks so cool. Get together, do a big old slice together. It definitely shows in there that they're working together as a team. I mean, we all know what's actually going on with Cloud and Sephiroth. Even in the demo, Cloud does Zack's mannerisms and stuff like that, and that's so cute.
I'm excited.
Such a puppy.
I'm about to bust.
From this first part of the demo, though, you can definitely tell that they are still very much ingrained in the formula that they established in FF7 Remake. They're continuing on that path and continuing on that gameplay style. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. That's really great style that they got going on right there. I know some people prefer a more turn-based stuff, and there is that option in the first game if you want to do that. You know, I'm a person who grew up with Kingdom Hearts and those other kind of like action RPGs. I'm not really a turn-based guy myself, so I much prefer the new style that they're going for. Nomura got his little hands on it and everything. I know you like to blame Nomura for everything, so there you go. The UI is basically the exact same thing from the first game, just some coloration tweaks here and there. Gameplay is pretty much the same, just some added tweaks here and there, like the synergy abilities, some chocobo stuff, which I'll get into later. Just continuing the story, making it longer, and giving you much more content in the process. And I didn't see this in any gameplay specifically, but I did see some people say that Sephiroth, if you play as him, he has the ability to teleport to enemies like Clive does in FF16. Oh man, I cannot wait to play as Sephiroth in this game and then eventually fight him later, because spoiler alert, Sephiroth is the bad guy. But that's it for the first part of the demo. The second part of the demo is where the real kind of juicy stuff's at. It takes place in Junon, and it involves the boss fight of saving Priscilla and stuff. Just a small little section from there, relatively, that is. From what I've heard, you can just focus on that boss fight and get to like the boss fight in like maybe a minute or 2. But the big thing that I saw emphasized by a lot of content creators, especially like Maximilian Dude, and the big thing that I think they're maybe focusing on for this game right here is the open world aspect of the game. Because during this small little section right here, yes, there are border walls and demo things saying, hey, you can't go here. For a lot of people, they let them play the demo more than once, like maybe like 3 or 4 times actually. And the reason they did that is because there is so much stuff that you can do in this small little area of the game, and it really emphasizes how many more features are going to be in this game. One big thing is the party system. It seems like to be revamped. While you're outside of battle, you can choose a set of party members that you can engage in combat with. I think you have 3 different slots to create a custom party for combat, and you can switch in between them with R1 and L1. And of course, each party member has their own abilities and own things you can customize, and a much more fleshed out menu than it was last time. Customize combat in a lot cooler ways than you did in the first game. You can play as Red 13 now. What? Also, I don't know why, but whenever he rides his chocobo, I think it just looks so fucking weird and funny. Speaking of chocobos, they seem to put a lot of focus on chocobos in this demo right here, because during the demo, a small little chocobo can come up to you and then lead you to a chocobo stop, and you can pet him right after that. Don't worry, guys, you can pet the dog in this game. There's also some chocobo ranches there where you can buy some equipment for your chocobos. Also, during the trailer, you can see, you know, you fly the chocobo around, and that also kind of leads me to the main thing of exploration. It seems like, again, that's going to be a big part of this game. You could have gone just straight to Junon and just went through that and just kind of speed run the demo. There is a lot more stuff that you could do outside of that. Also, another big point, Tifa Lockhart. That's it. Like, if you agree. Graphics are going to be what they did for Intergrade for porting it to the PS5. There's going to be 2 different modes. There's going to be a graphics mode and a performance mode. Obviously, with graphics, you're going to get 4K, only 30 FPS, but you get those really crisp, nice looking details. And performance is, I think, 2K or 1080p at 60 frames per second. And of course, with the SSD on the PS5, load times are pretty much instantaneous as well. You could also use Red 13 as a bazooka. Look at the synergy ability with Red 13 and Barrett. He's a fucking bazooka. What? Also, Yuffie's here. Shout out to Yuffie. But that was not all, because then we had the stage presentation right after that with Katase and Hamaguchi, the director of the game, having an exclusive demo showing off some more features of the game. This demo takes place in Calm, and it's just them doing a bunch of little things to show off features of the game. One of the big things that they emphasized in this demo specifically was the open world aspect of the game. You know, you got to go into an actual open world with a map and various objectives spread across the map. You got to see how big the map was in the demo. It shows how expansive this thing actually is and how much stuff they're packing into it. Really excited to see them go really deep into the stuff that they kind of explored in 15. I think with the power of the PS5 that I think they're able to really execute on that vision. Chocobos were another big part of this demo, specifically how you capture them and tame them and make them your own. You kind of do like a stealth thing to catch the chocobo. You throw something out there, distract them, and then hop on them, and then you tame them and feed them something, and then they trust you. And there's a really cute scene between Aerith and Tifa there that's funny. And the chocobo can go really fast too. Like, if you get them in their fastest mode, they can like zoom across the map, so they're going to be really good for travel if you don't want to use fast travel, that is. Also, those chocobo stops that I talked about earlier, those are fast travel locations, and also you can buy this cushion, I think, that you can use to boost more of your stats when you're resting there. I think that's what it does. Also, Chadley's here. Chadley's back, guys. Chadley is here. Don't worry, my son has actually returned. There's various Shinra towers around the map that Chadley knows the location of. You can use them to unlock those towers, reveal certain objectives around the map that Chadley wants you to do for you to develop your materia, kind of similar to what he was in the first game. In the demo specifically, they used a combat scenario to investigate these certain mysteries or objectives. If you defeat an enemy in a certain amount of time, you can get a certain prize in developing your materia and stuff. And Chadley, I love Chadley, man. He's so cool. All he wants to do is just explore the open world like everyone else. And, you know, he's such a scout. Literally, he's wearing a scout outfit in this game. They then go into the main city of Calm, and oh my god, dude, it looks so good. It looks so good, dude. It looks so pretty. There's a quest board in the city if you look around, so a lot of people are probably excited to see that. There's also a lot more mini games in this as well, not just in the Golden Saucer section. Like, there's the Moogle House. Oh, look how cute that stuff is. Oh my god. There's also this card game called Queen's Blood, which I think they said might have like a story that overarches throughout the game. I don't know. The translation was kind of off on that. There is chocobo racing, but there's also this other chocobo racing thing where you can race to certain objectives in a certain amount of time, and I think a ranch owner gives you like a prize or something, kind of like the jobs in Kingdom Hearts 2. There's also a piano mini game that they have in there that you use the analog sticks to control, which I think is a very interesting option. I've not seen that a lot. It seemed kind of hard at first, like the comedian that they had on there was kind of having a hard time at first, but he eventually got it, and they played Aerith's theme, and great choice, by the way. And then after that, not too sure. The English translation stream was having a lot of issues. Like, the translator left, like 5 minutes in, got replaced by someone else. Then the guy came back, and then the other person came in. I was like, what's going on? And then right after that piano minigame, the stream died. Never came back. I don't know what happened there. Maybe Sephiroth came in and said, nah, fuck this, and then just stabbed the translator. They ran out of Phoenix Downs for real. Anyways, the demo looks freaking awesome. It's a really great first preview. It gets really cool that they got to fight these creators out here to experience the game, and I can't wait to experience it myself. The things that they've been saying have been glowing, really, really positive. It's just a continuation of what's going on, just adding on top of it so much more content. And who knows, we may get to play this demo ourselves, because they did that for 7 Remake about 2 months before that game came out, and they just recently did it for 16 as well. So, you know, maybe we'll get to play this at some point. Who knows? Now, with the demo out the way, let's kind of go into the stuff that's been revealed in interviews with developers like Nomura and stuff. There's this big tweet summarizing all the information out there from Ataki Muchi. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. She is a godsend, by the way. Shout out to her. She provides the most and best information on all like Square Enix stuff or JRPG stuff in general. Shout out to her for real. First major point is that the game for the main story will be about 40 hours to complete, and for a completionist run, you're going to be doing about 100 hours. A little bit longer than Remake, because that took about 35 hours to complete the main story in that game and around 85 to complete all the extra stuff. The Golden Saucer date scene will have same-sex and opposite-sex options, so you can have a lot of customizations when it comes to that. There'll be 7 sections to it, just like the original. Vincent is not playable in this game. Press F in the chat. He will be playable in the 3rd game, and it said he'll be similar to what Red 13 was in this game, because he wasn't playable in Remake, but he will be in this one. Also, him and Yuffie are going to be much more integrated into the story this time to kind of flesh out their characters. Nomura did not confirm or deny that the game was taking place in a parallel world, but a lot of other statements have been very hinting towards it and kind of been cheeky about it, so Nomura's a big tease. There's apparently a lot of surprises in the story as well, and the story will end at the Forgotten Capital, but events that lead up to it won't necessarily go in the same order as they were in the original game. There's also going to be some new characters coming in as well, and Zack's story is going to be completely new and not the same as it was in the original game. In some sad news, apparently Reno is not going to be a major part of this game because the Japanese voice actor for Reno sadly passed away, and apparently they did not find a good way to implement him in the game because of that. So unfortunately, he's not going to be a big part of the game. And I mean, he has other voice actors in other regions, but specifically in Japan, they just couldn't find a way to make it work. But on a positive side, and to kind of end out this information section right here, apparently the Tiny Bronco is going to be in this game, and that means Sid is probably going to be in there as well. So hey Sid, welcome back. We missed you. So I want to bring this up too because I thought it was hilarious. At the Square Enix booth, they have a big old theater display there, and apparently every 30 minutes, for 30 seconds only, Sephiroth just pops up and stares at the crowd with flames around him, just looking at you, judging you, taunting you. That's the big major information that we got from the interviews that we've gotten so far. There's going to be some more in the future, obviously. The major stuff has been kind of gotten out there. So, yeah, in summary, oh, man. I'm excited for this game, if you can't tell. This game looked great, this game looks awesome, and I'm getting more excited the more I know about it. It's really great to see that they're sticking with the formula that made FF7 Remake so great, all with the gameplay and the presentation, and just adding on top of it, and not changing things too radically. They could have done a lot of changes to this game and made it very much juxtaposed to the first game, but they decided to stick with what worked well, keep it in line with the trilogy that's coming up. They're doing a lot of stuff like exploration, battle modes, customization, chocobos. They're adding a lot more stuff than what they could have ever done on the PS4, because I'm sure that was a very limiting factor for what they wanted to do with Final Fantasy VII Remake, especially since it came out at the very end of the generation. Now that we're on the PS5, now that we're on this next-gen hardware, they can really execute a lot of the stuff that they wanted to do in the first game. The game's 150 gigabytes, so, you know, they're packing this thing full of shit. I'm really excited to see what this ends up being. I am also a relative newcomer when it comes to the FF7 verse. I didn't have the games growing up. I didn't really get into it until the time Remake came out, and I still haven't beat the OG game yet. I'm still working on that. I have beaten Remake a couple times, and I beat the integrated episode a couple times too. Really invested in the lore and the background of it and the characters. So I'm really excited to see where they take all that for this game. But that's all I have for this video today. Tell me down in the comments below what you guys think about this. Are you guys excited about FF7 Rebirth? Have you seen the demos? Have you seen the trailer, the gameplay? What's your overall opinion on that? What are your opinion on the new features in the game, like chocobos, exploration, gameplay, stuff like that? And what do you think the story is going to be going like? Do you think they're going to do a lot of different stuff, or do you think it's going to be very similar? Tell me down in the comments below your opinion. Also, make sure to subscribe, like this video, follow me on Twitter, turn on notifications. Really awesome if you did. This has been Matt, and I will see you guys in the next video. I know what that's going to be. I'll do that tomorrow. So yeah,